G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of U-Boat on U-764. It's the 6th of November 1944 and we're just leaving the port of Bergen. Unfortunately the resistance has now taken over France, so we've had to pass our way up into Norway. At this stage of the war it's not too bad that we're not in France anymore because we've kind of done everything we needed to do in the area. It would have been nice to finish off some more ships in the Atlantic Ocean. But now we've got ourselves some more hunting grounds up in the Arctic, and there should be plenty of shipping convoys in between Russia and the UK where we will be mainly hunting around. So if we just have a look at the map here, you can see that the enemy now control France, which means the port of La Rochelle is now under enemy control. And I did wonder why, because I didn't really keep an eye on the dates, but there wasn't really much in stock at any of the ports anytime I was returning, and I didn't realise that they actually had full control of France at that time, so we did have to move. But there should be plenty for us to do up in this area. So this is our hunting ground for today, just north of the UK and Norway. So hopefully we're going to get out here and we'll start making a name for ourselves in the area. Well, we're in the patrol zone now and we've spotted ourselves a convoy, so we'll put a position down here and we'll have to give chase. And we'll start hunting them down and we'll get ahead of them and we'll move into a good attacking position. So it's nice to find a big convoy straight away when you're doing an attack like this. Doesn't often happen. Normally we do the patrol or find the convoys before or after the patrols. Well, we're just in about a position where they're going to enter our range. Here we go. So what have we got leading the charge? Well, they're not too far away. We should probably move a little bit closer, just in case anything. I don't know if that's the center of the convoy, or if there's more straight to my left, or if it's more over the other side of that first lead ship. So we'll just wait for a few to come into range. So we've got a little corvette here, another corvette over here. Corvettes are really awkward to deal with because you don't really want to use a torpedo on them, and you don't really want to try and get into a surface fight with a deck gun with them either. You've got a destroyer right heading towards us. Okay, well this is a bit more serious, so we should probably try and avoid this. It looks like the far side of the convoy doesn't really have any escorts. I don't know why some of the ships are moving on a different pattern to the rest of the convoy. But we're going to dive down under the convoy and we'll pop up on the other side, and that'll give us a more clear chance of attacking these ships. And they don't really look like they're following each other's same line. There's a couple of them that are just looking a bit funny here. So let's just get ourselves straightened up and we'll take a look into the periscope. Just better suss out their angle of travel. So we've got a nice tanker here. That'll definitely be good towards our tonnage. Got a pretty big, kind of looks like a Liberty, I'm not sure if it is. Something else there as well, like a Liberty. So there we go, we've got a nice big tanker there as well. So there's plenty of tonnage here so far. We don't want to be tangling with the corvettes that are in there. So I think we'll try and line ourselves up for an attack on one of these tankers here pretty much immediately. We need to come back up to periscope depth to do that, and we better suss out their angle of travel. It seems to have changed since I plotted their course before, so we'll just take a quick look at that. We need the protractor and a north to south line. See what it is that they're doing. So it's around about 82, 83 degrees, we'll go with that, which is fine. So up the periscope and let's take a look, and we'll need to work out the rest of the solution. Some of these ships have been added since the most recent update, so I'm not too familiar with what we're going to be looking at. But we definitely want to be taking out the bigger targets. So it's a Norwegian ship, we probably shouldn't be attacking that. Not at this stage, but this American tanker here is definitely fair game. And probably going to be one of the primary targets from this convoy. We are going to try and dismantle as much of this convoy as we possibly can though. Now where is it? Can't seem to see it. It must be lagging behind. We'll just do a quick solution on some of these other ships as well, just in case. Okay, so it's not a T2. I know that for sure because it's got the stack in the more forward. This thing here is a war class. It's got the stack with one chimney behind, so we'll roll with that. Speed, we'll have to do a proper speed check. It's probably 7 degrees. Distance wise, they're well within our range. You just check here, 83 degrees is what we're going with. And that's what they're traveling at. And we definitely, I'm assuming 7 knots, but we will check just to be sure. And we'll stop the clock right there. 7 knots, pretty standard for a moving convoy. So you're going to take 2 torpedoes. I don't like the T1s very much because they can be a bit of a hit and miss. Some of them can be a dud. But tubes 3 and 4, off we go. So we can now leave that view and we should probably get moving with the convoy now, because that'll be our first attack, and then they're going to be freaked, so we'll have to let them calm down for a little while. So that's our target ship there. What's this thing over here? Another nice big American tanker. So we could probably actually, if we do it right, go for a second attack just real quick before we make an escape, because I don't think we'll be too out of the question of timing it right. So we might as well just, we know all the numbers at least, we just need to recognize and get the distance for this one. So this is a T2, I think. We'll roll with that. Quick distance, hopefully it's within 5Ks. Yep, much closer than that. So 2 torpedoes, real quick please. Tube 1 and 2, flood those up and get those on their way. Fire. Okay, 2 good hits there on the first target. That's a good thing. The other ship is just in the distance there, so you can't really see because of the fire at the moment, but that's okay. So that ship's going straight down, and we've also got hits on the other tanker as well, so that's cool. This one's disappearing straight away, so we might as well just race over, get a look. Explosions everywhere, huge fires on deck, and I would say she's going to go down too relatively quickly as well. So perfect start, that's great news. She's going right down. Okay, we've got a transmission from BDU coming in now. I disengaged from that convoy just because it was mainly full of empires, and a lot of them were kind of Norwegian ships, so we'll just let them run on. We don't need to waste our torpedoes on them. We want to be out here hunting big targets, so we'll see what the BDU have got to say for themselves. And there is a ship carrying some crucial technology, as the usual is. So they're going to give us the coordinates and the speed for that, which is great news. That actually works out the solution for us. Kind of takes the skill out of the game a little bit. That's something that they've put in with the new update as well. But it's quite helpful, I suppose, if you're new to the game. So here we go, the convoy is going to come right towards us. We'll just plot a course. We could pretty much just sit here and wait, but we'll close in on them. Okay, we're pretty much in position, ready for the attack. We've been waiting for them. By the looks of things, we better reverse up just a touch. A couple of destroyers leading the charge here. Don't really want to be tangling with them. Better put the red lights on because it's dark out. But yeah, we don't want to be interfering with this guy, that's for sure. but we'll have a little look at the convoy, see what ships, if we can spot the target ship. If not, then we probably will have to deal with these enemy destroyers first. Might need to open the convoy up a little bit before we can come back in for a second attack if we need to, but let's just let them all move in. We've got another destroyer coming right behind us, so we better back up. And we want to have a look and start sussing out which ship. So we're well within range here, but this destroyer that's on the edge of the convoy might pick us up quite well. So this is the Empire Life, that's our target. Now we would like to target more than the Empire Life, but as it's the ship that's in question, we'll deal with that first, and then if we can, we'll come back and see if we can clean up any more of the convoy. We've got another nice big tanker here as well. Definitely want to keep my eyes on that. But I think first things first is going to be trying to deal with that Empire Life. And then hopefully the destroyers will come out searching around where I am right now, and I can maybe go under and get on the other side of the convoy for the second attack, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens here. So we better get the periscope sorted out. See if we can spot that Empire Life. It looks like a fairly large convoy as well, so there's plenty here for us to do. Not a bad first outing so far. We've got 2 tankers down, so there's quite a few clouds of smoke. That's all the chimney smoke. There's bloody heaps of it. Okay, so we need to be looking at what? It's not quite 90 degrees is where our ship is. We're kind of looking at about 50 roughly for our Empire Life. So we'll have to up the scope. Can't really see them too well, they're a bit far away at the moment. I don't know if it's this one or not, it could be. This is an Empire of sorts. Bit of a crappy angle for us to be trying to see what it is that they, what ship it is. So we go into the freighter menu. It's quite hard to tell if it's a bell or a tower. I'll go with a tower. I think 7 knots for sure. 50 degrees is their course. Distance just a little bit far away at the moment. So we'll have to let them move in, I think, just to be sure. I've put 50 degrees, it's not 50 degrees for them, their direction of travel. A little bit, well, it's pretty close, 51-ish. So we'll roll with that. Shouldn't be too far off when we come to do the attack. Okay, we're being pinged, so that's not a good start. Now, as long as they're in range, we'll get some torpedoes in the water. 2 torpedoes is more than enough to deal with an Empire. Sometimes 1 isn't enough, sometimes 2 is too many, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Alright, so we've got 2 good hits on our Empire. Massive fire on board, so that should be more than enough to take her down. A little bit of lag while I take a screenshot there, but that's okay. So she should go down now, which is going to mean that all these destroyers and corvettes are going to be hunting us. Which is not going to be cool, but we should be able to escape with ease. We've got plenty of decoys on board. And it looks to me like this Empire isn't going to take too long to sink. But we've already started moving away from the convoy. So safety should be okay for us. Yep, she's going down. Unlucky to them. A job well done to us, I think. Just make sure we got the right ship. Should be okay. Yeah, there we go, mission complete. So we're already down in the depths, trying to make our escape over here. So let's just keep moving. And as you can see, all the destroyers are closing in on us now. So I think we may put a decoy out here. Yeah, this guy is giving chase to us, so let's go into the sub. And we'll get our guy here. I think it's our guy on the left. Who doesn't have any decoys on him. He normally does. Must have used them in the last attack, but that's okay. So load up your bag with those, please. And we'll get you out to the back of the boat. Good thing there, please. There he is. Okay, good job. Now, over here, chuck a pelt. Just keep an eye on the rest of the enemy ships that are coming our way. We should probably go down a little bit deeper if necessary. Maybe after we've got our decoy in the water we could do that. What are you shooting at? We are down a little bit deeper than where your bullets are going to go, but maybe he is just guiding the rest of the destroyers on our last location or something, so keep an eye on this. Okay, well they are dropping depth charges, but they don't seem to be anywhere near us. We can hear them, but we can't see anything in the water. No explosions around, so I think we're going to be okay. And we'll just keep plodding along, and we'll realign for another attack on the convoy. Right, we're back with the convoy now. A little bit of time's passed since that last engagement. So there's still plenty of smoke on the horizon, but we've got this guy here to deal with. He was kind of right in our way. We want to be a little bit closer to the other ships, and this guy is stopping us from doing that. So it looks like an EF class destroyer. Let's roll with that. Course, we already know. Still doing 52 degrees, so that's easy for us. Distance, well within range, and we should probably do a speed check because the music's kind of making me think that they're not doing the 7 knots. Might be a little bit faster. And the back of the boat through our crosshair. Stop the clock. Oh, they are doing 7 knots. So the music's just being a little bit funny for no reason at all. So we're going to be sending tubes 1 and 2. Probably a little bit of overkill, but best to get the job done right. Fire away. Okay, got one good hit. No second hit yet though, so we're probably either a dud or it's just run underneath the ship. Can't be sure yet, but she looks like she's in real trouble. She is a goner, so that's going to give us a good opportunity to now close in and do another attack on the convoy. Alright, we're in a position now where we can come in for another attack here on the convoy. Just want to make sure of their direction of travel. Yeah, so they're still kind of doing the same thing. They do kind of wave around a bit though when you do an attack, so just to make sure that they go back to what they were. Can't just guess what they're up to. So we'll jump into the periscope and have a look. We need to be looking roughly at about 40 degrees through the periscope to what the boat's doing. And we'll see what we're going to do an attack with. Want to pick up the biggest target we can. Good job getting that destroyer out of the way. That's really allowed us to close in now. Okay, so we've got a big tanker there, and there's also another destroyer right next to it. I think we should go for the tanker first, and it's one of the new ones again. So what is it? It's like an LS something. There we go, LST. Big Air's boat, so we know your course hasn't changed at all. A little bit of a distance check, and as long as this thing's within range, we'll get torpedoes in immediately. Should do a speed check because it hasn't been very long since the last attack. May have been long enough, but we'll need to double check. And the back of the boat passed through. Stop the clock there. 7 knots. Cool. So we can do an attack on that. Now this destroyer, I think we're going to have to get rid of this, because this is going to stop us coming in for the next attack after this tanker. So I don't know if that's an EF class again. It's not a tribal. It's got the 2 masts in the middle and a little bit of space, so kind of narrows it down. Kind of looks like a Dido class. So 7 knots. Hasn't changed much on it. You're doing the same as that tanker. 4.7 Ks. So you're going to go first. We'll do an attack on this thing first, and then try and simultaneously launch at the tanker as well. So there's roughly about 1 kilometer's worth of distance between those 2 ships. So if we draw a circle here at 1 kilometer, when our torpedo hits that line, we will then launch at the tanker as well. Just make sure I'm in the periscope to do that. Quite often I jump back into the map first, and then we don't have this one warmed. He is maintaining it right now, but I don't know if he's going to be quick enough. So let's just get it flooded. Cold torpedo, but hopefully it won't be a dud. We need it to be a good hit, please. Okay, we've got 2 good hits on the tanker, but it doesn't look like we've got anything on that destroyer. Must have mistimed it somehow. But it's okay, because we've got this tanker in real trouble here. She's got a massive fire on board right now, and she probably isn't going to be alive for much longer. So, not too fussed about the destroyer. It's a shame that the 2 torpedoes we used haven't hit. So that's the only real concern. And how has this thing had 2 torpedoes and a massive fire and yet to no damage? Well, that is unreal. She must have some seriously strong armor on the outside of her. But let's just be sure. Might be a bit of a waiting game here. If she takes any more torpedoes than that, I will be amazed. We don't really have enough torpedoes to keep launching at these things. Pretty sure they don't normally take as many torpedoes. 2 torpedoes should be fine. We'll just sit and watch. We'll let this fire do a bit of work. This could be a glitch, I'm not too sure. So we'll wait and see. Well, she took her sweet time, but the damage bar has just gone completely empty there. So now it's just a case of the water doing the rest of the work for us. We may have to come back and finish it with the deck gun, but hopefully she's not going to be as stubborn as that. So she should go down, throwing the cargo overboard. Yeah, she's a goner. That's good. Goodbye to you. Alright, it's the next morning now. We're back with the convoy. We got our eyes here on our C3 cargo, so we are going to go and try and use our last torpedoes, see if we can sink this thing. I don't know if we're going to get any deck gun action today because there's still quite a few ships that either have escorts around them or are armed with guns. But we've pretty much used all of our torpedoes now, and we are in reverse because we're using tube number 5. So let's get back out there, and we'll just double check our distance, make sure you're within range. Yep, she is. Normal lighting for the boys now. It is the morning, keep them happy. So we might have one torpedo left after this one, so one's definitely not going to be enough to finish the C3 cargo. Well, we got a good hit there. That's good start. It's definitely not going to do the damage that we want it to do, but it's going to be enough. So we'll have to just kind of cruise along with the ship now, and we'll realign for another attack, and we have to hope that the second torpedo will do the rest of the damage for us. And it might not sink it, but it will put it in a position where we can come back and use the deck gun to finish it off if that's what it takes. Well, here she is, limping along, leaning hard to the right. So let's just do a quick distance check. And yeah, a little bit far away probably, but better double check that she's doing 7. I don't know if a ship would limp along at 7 or maybe a little bit less than that. Okay, she is doing 7. Quite surprised at that. So this is our last torpedo. Now we've got to hope that it's going to be able to finish the job for us. And we'll just leave all these settings as they are. And it'll be good to get the ship because there'll be quite a few big tons for our first patrol in the Arctic. Okay, it's not looking good for that last torpedo. Looks like a miss for us, which is unfortunate because we're not going to get an opportunity to finish this C3 off, so we're going to have to leave this convoy alone. Well, we're out of ammunition pretty much, so it's just a case of finishing off the patrol kilometers, and then we're going to have to head back to Bergen and restock the ship for the next patrol.
Zeit für eine Pause.
Alright, we're back. So we are closing in on that new medal, but not really. And Arctic convoys, 31,800 out of 50,000. That is not bad for our first patrol. So here's a list of what we've done. A few Empires, a few tankers from memory. So yeah, we didn't actually sink that much. A couple of tankers, a freighter, one destroyer, and we did do the main mission as well, which is good, so we should get a little bit of credit for that. Well, that's it for today, guys. So this is coming out on Christmas, I believe, so Merry Christmas to all of you. Thanks to all of you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.